So now let's stick on in that regards in terms of dealing with our employees or our interns. There's another document which is called a non-compete. What is a non-compete?
So a non-compete is, it could be its own contract, but I like to think of it more of as a provision in a employment contract or an employment agreement. And basically, a non-compete provision is telling your employee that once you leave here, once you're terminated or you decide to leave, you cannot do the same thing that you're doing for me in a particular radius, for example, and for a particular amount of time. Or you can be even more nuanced and say that you can't go and work for my competitor and actually name the particular competitor. So basically, it's just a way for you to protect the investment of time and effort that you're putting into the employee, so that they don't turn around and start competing against you using the processes and the information that you taught them.
And when do you think such a document or such a process is recommended? So are we talking about, if we're working at a fast food restaurant and we're trying to hire fry cooks, do we use it for our fry cooks? If we're like, in what instance should we start using these documents and these
Yeah, I
processes?
think that when there's significant amount of training and investment that you're putting into the employee, I think that's when a non-compete really should be used. There are issues to think about when it comes to the enforceability of a non-compete provision, right? For example, are you restricting this person's livelihood? Is the range that you're asking them not to work, is that unreasonable? Is the time unreasonable? So you want to make sure that if you are going to use a non-compete agreement or a provision, that it's reasonable, that it's really just to protect you and not to, stop them from making their livelihood. So, like I said, if you're going to put significant training, that's where I would use an NDA. Maybe a fry cook isn't a scenario where I would use a non-compete provision.